since I left A.O. Williams, I've written a letter every day. I only got an email a year and a half ago. Now sometimes I'll write 5 or 10 letters a day, and then won't write it for a week. But I've averaged probably writing a letter every day for the last 30 years, telling somebody I appreciate them, I love them. And one day every week, I take cookies or candy to all the people down at Old Edwards, the leaders. One day every week, I hand carry a cookie or a piece of candy to all the leaders. That's how you build personal relationships. You've got to show people you love them. You just can't talk it. Yves, come up here. I called Greg Fitzpatrick on the phone. I said, Greg, I was coming out with these little videos. I said, I need some people in Canada to call. And he said, call Yves and Jim Bone. I've never met Jim. But you know what? You just like with a hog. I don't know, you just have special feelings as a leader, or you ain't no leader, I fell in love with this guy. Do you know this is the first time I've touched him? But I bet you in the last, I don't know how many months, last April, we don't talk on the phone, but email. Ain't that something? But I tell you what, he loves Art Williams, and I love him. How can you develop a relationship by an email? Now tell me about why. I think you told me you were in Detroit and you were offered a job in your company to go to Hawaii or somewhere, and you wanted to go to Canada. Why do you want to go to Canada?
Well, the thing is, my uncle sold me 3 whole life. And
your uncle?
My uncle. Well, yeah. Yeah, I know. So anyways, an employee of mine came to the hotel and he showed me about buy term and invest the difference, and I got pissed off, and I turned down a transfer to go to Hawaii.
Did you hear me say chicken shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And a few other things too.
Yeah.
And turned down a transfer to go to Hawaii, quit 80,000, sold my home and moved to Montreal, and it was full time then. And I'm the first French in Montreal, and this guy saved my life, because when we were a peanut, all I had was his tapes, and that's why I love you. I mean, that's how we build together, because you're the one that really coached me. And I love Greg and I love Bob Miller. They came to Montreal to help us out, but this guy saved my life. Just because of who he is, and he was talking to me in my car, and that's how I was able to build full-time for 26 years. Now we have part-time. I love you.
I love you, buddy. And you told me, I think, that you were financially independent now.
Yep.
And he could quit. And he told me those little videos I sent out, and we developed a relationship. He said, Art, he told me one day, I don't know if you remember telling me this, but he said, you know what? I want to go for it again. I want to go help people again, Don't have to work, But he's that kind of guy. The thing I've come to love about you the most, Yves, is you want to. You want to. So I can put this on a t-shirt, and man, that says it all about him, right? Coach Taylor was my only hero in life. My only hero in life. Started working with him in the 5th grade. Started playing for him in high school, played for him, and worked for him all the way through college. Had a relationship with him when he died. 3 days before he died, his wife called me and says, Art, Coach Taylor wants to see you. He had a melanoma, and the last 6 weeks of his life, he was bedridden on oxygen. That day I went to Tallahassee, Florida to see him, and I was like his son. I don't know why he picked me out. I was just sort of an average athlete, the average student. Any way you look at me, I'm pretty average, honestly. I mean, you might say that's a bunch of crap, okay? But it's true, it's really true. He made me feel special. I wasn't special. I really didn't have any special gifts, but he made me feel like I did. I would look at him sitting in the lunchroom, and all those teachers and coaches would be over there, at reading. And I'd look at him, and I just admired him so much. I'd look at him and I'd say, man, if I could just one day have a position where I could have an influence off somebody like he has on me, if I could make kids feel about themselves the way he makes me feel important, he makes me feel like somebody. I said, that's all I want to do with my life. That's all I want to do with my life. I'd watch him on a basketball court and a football field. And for some weird reason, now he did this for hundreds of others. He's in that little town for 20 years, so I wasn't the only one, okay? But in my mind, I was the only one. He made me feel like I was the only one. Is that amazing? He made me feel like I was the only one in Cairo, Georgia, that he coached Yves. That's how we developed a relationship. Yves told me what he told you last night. He said, Art, you were my hero. You made me. I listened to your tape. You're who I listened to. Coach Taylor made me feel like I was the one, that I was going to do something incredible, that I was going. That's what you got to be. That's what you got to be to your team. You got to make them feel special. You got to become an expert on praise and recognize. That little T-shirt I gave Yves last night, I want to. That's what I saw in our relationship. But as I began to have a relationship with Yves, the thing I thought is he was just eating up with want to. He was just eating up with want to. I didn't even know him. But somehow I was Coach Taylor to him. Can you imagine what that's worth? That's worth 1,000,000 times more than a paycheck. It's hard. Building personal relationships is hard. But if you're going to build a great team, if you're going to help people change their own life, then folks, there's got to be a bond. There's got to be a trust that borders on being something. Unless you've experienced it, you don't understand it. I think that's what football taught me. I think that's what coaches taught me. Man, when you're a coach and you got those 40 players in a room and there's 25,000 people out there in the stands like in my last game, and we're playing the national champions, Valdosta, in the semifinals of the state, you know, and man, it's you and those 40-something players playing the national champions, 25,000 people in the stands. Man, only you know what it means to be in that kind of environment. Only those A.L. Williams people, only those people that hugged me a while ago. I mean, I know how bad you want it. And folks, I would give anything if I could be with you, because I know I'd be good for you. I know if I could have a personal relationship with you. I know when you're hurting, when you're crying, when you're dying, I could say something that would give you hope. I know it. And I'd give my right arm if I could do it. That's what you've got to find, somebody that you believe in, that you know is right, that's tough, that'll be loyal to you and good to you.